Happy Friday, everybody! Welcome, of course, to this special edition of Elite Ringside Network on a Friday, and we don't really have a name for it, but we decided to call it Beattie Club Friday. I am your host, Nate the Effing Great, joined here by the one, the only, the leader of the Beattie Club, and of course your Elite Ringside Network ex-champion, the one and only Max Beattie. How are you, good sir?
It's good to have gold again.
Yeah, and
end of the work week.
It is the end of the work week, and it is at the end of one of the most craziest and insane weeks that anybody could have ever predicted. It just, I mean, jeez Louise. I mean, Elimination Chamber was pretty good. I mean, we had 3 awesome matches. You had the whole Festival of Friendship deal on Raw, and the era of Wyatt's continuing on Tuesday. Oh boy, it just makes it better. And we get the announcement on NXT this past week that Cassius Ohno is on his way back to NXT. And for those of you that actually listened to the Smart Money podcast a couple weeks ago, they are indeed going to be doing a program with Bobby Roode and Cassius Ohno, probably heading into the NXT TakeOver Orlando. God help me, that's going to be awesome.
I need heart medication to do that.
Yeah, if you thought the matchup between Nakamura and Bobby Roode was good, Cassius Ohno versus Roode is going to just... It's probably going to... It's going to kill all the smarks. It is going to kill all the smarks. I guarantee it right now. Oh man.
God. It's a good way to die, though.
I get to see Bobby Roode and Chris Hero wrestling for a independent championship, basically, and it's going to be an actual good wrestling match. Totally okay with that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And, oh man, that's going to be a tough matchup to call, because I'm thinking to myself, if Bobby Roode loses at Orlando, he might be getting called up to the main roster. Almost practically can guarantee that. And if, Cassius Ohno doesn't win, then we're getting a rematch, which is going to be awesome. Now, maybe before we get into our main topic we want to talk about, going to ask you this. Shinsuke Nakamura has not been advertised for any of the programs going into either NXT TakeOver or any of the NXT tapings lately. Do you think this is going to be him getting called up to the main roster?
I hope so. That would be amazing. Do I think it's going to happen? I could see it happening within, say, the next 2 to 3 months. I would honestly hedge my bets more on after WrestleMania, just because they actually for once have a lot to go through getting to WrestleMania this year, and I think as awesome as he is, he would clutter that up. So I think if this is signaling his call up, it'll happen after Mania.
I think I could see that too. It would be probably one of the biggest reactions, especially if the way that things are going. Oh man, I mean, honestly, if Chris is right about the WrestleMania matchup between Goldberg and Lesnar, it's for the Universal title, Lesnar wins, he comes out the next night. Can you imagine the reaction you could get if there's a stare down between Brock Lesnar and Shinsuke Nakamura that night? That would be one of the best ways to really raise the value on that championship. Plus, I think that'd be a great way to debut Nakamura and just have that stare down. Don't even have them say anything. Just stare down. Nakamura just ready to go, and Lesnar's like, "Yeah, I see what you've done in NXT. I think I'm going to take a week to think about this."
I could see that happening. It sounds great.
So, we're actually going to be doing a very interesting show this week. We're actually going to be doing a top 10, and we're kind of going to be taking this idea kind of from what Culture actually did. They did a top 10 list of gimmicks that shouldn't have worked, but did so many gimmicks that were actually very amazing, that actually propelled for so long. A couple names, including Eugene, as well as Broken Matt Hardy. Unfortunately, there were some gimmicks that should have worked, and some things that should have worked in the world of professional wrestling, but unfortunately crashed and burned. And I mean, honorable mention would be Spencer Hart trying to be a babyface. How about that? Because it's not working.
Kick a boy while he's down.
Yeah, well, I did give him a stunner at Royal Rumble, and I have high doubts that he is going to win the title at Fastlane against Chris, because I think Chris knows what he's talking about, and I think Chris just, he's going to do it. I think he's going to do it. I think he's going to be the guy that is going to beat the one who claims to be the one in 140 some odd days, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, failed never-ending tour. Oh, that'd be a second thing. Second honorable mention. His never-ending world title tour. Yeah, that didn't work out so well now, did it, bro?
Yeah. Are we surprised? No.
All right. So, let's get right into it. How about we have you started off, Max. What was one of your gimmicks or wrestling angles that just should have worked, but unfortunately fell?
Alright, I'll lowball you for the first one and go easy. The Nexus.
Yeah.
Do I even need to explain?
I was about to say, you could say that, put up a picture of Cena and maybe a Triple H.
Concrete?
Yeah, I was going to make the joke saying, Triple H let Cena bury him with his shovel, but I think concrete is probably the better deal. Yeah.
Well, I still get sickening crack in their careers.
Yeah. It is amazing how Cena kind of came from burying careers to making more careers. I mean, he's gotten pinned by Bray Wyatt twice this week, so. But Nexus should have been something more. And unfortunately, it all happened at SummerSlam, and it just nosedived into the ground, and then was just buried with cement, like you said, by Cena. Just, man.
Yeah. What's your first, then?
First one that I have is actually a bit of an interesting one. King of the Ring. But I'm more talking about the recent years of the King of the Ring. So basically anything from 2000 beforehand, that was gold. That was fine. Unfortunately, though, the last 3 King of the Rings, I want to say, have just not been very good. I mean, taking the list. You have last year, which was King Barrett, who went through a very horrible year, because I honestly thought, okay, this is where they're going to finally build up, Wade Barrett, and they're going to finally make him something good again. They have him in a feud with R-Truth over crowns. They paired him up with Stardust and the Cosmic King deal. And then what was the final nail in the coffin of his career? Shit. That's right. The United Nations ripoff, whatever that was? League of Nations. Good God. I mean, that could have been something good that they could have done too, but they just good Lord. A couple years prior was King Sheamus. What happened with him? Oh, let's see here. He got beat up by John Morrison basically every other pay-per-view. He won the U.S. title, but that only lasted for about 2 months, and then he lost to Kofi Kingston. Basically got, yeah. Then there was William Regal, and probably had one of the most lackluster wins ever. I mean, granted, the finals was him and CM Punk. That was a good match. But then just nothing. I mean, yes, William Regal deserves to go into the Hall of Fame, but it just was absolute nothing that came out of that King of the Ring victory. There was like no title ramifications, and he was also the Raw general manager. Just, it was bad. I mean, King of the Ring was supposed to be something prestigious, but now they just make it out to be just a random thing that they have, and it's now going to turn into those things where as soon as they bring it up, it's like, oh, I wonder who they're going to bury this time around. Great. Just, I don't know. I don't know. Am I wrong with those cases?
Oh God, no, not at all.
That was unfortunately what I was hoping you were not going to say. I was going to hope that you're going to have some kind of deal where it's like, well, I mean, the Sheamus thing would have actually been pretty decent, but it's like, no, you're right.
No.
You're right. Just this is going to be a very depressing episode, but I think there's some things that just need to be addressed. So, all right. So, what is your next one that was an ultimate fail?
Well, we started simple. Let's go a little more complicated for the first one. I mean, the second one. Wow. Stone Cold Steve Austin's heel turn.
All right. Well, for those of you that are not too familiar, Max, why don't you kind of explain more what kind of happened with his heel turn?
Okay. Well, WrestleMania 17 rolls around. He's got a big match with The Rock. They're both going off about how, oh, I need to win. No, I need to win. And they, all of a sudden, at the event, prior to, have the match changed to a no DQ match. Weird, but whatever. No, it's the Attitude Era. They start to go into the match. It's brutal. It's bloody. They're throwing each other through the tables. And then the loathed and despised Mr. McMahon comes to the ring, gives Austin a chair, which he accepts. He cracks The Rock with it. 1, 2, 3, wins the title, and then shakes McMahon's hand, which would be kind of like if Harry Potter shook hands with Voldemort.
Basically, yeah. And kind of giving a little more, I think a little more in depth with that. The I guess you could say storyline angle that they had was Stone Cold Steve Austin kind of just, loving Vince and just giving him hugs and everything like that. It's just was a really weird angle. Speaking of which, as soon as Kurt Angle comes to the picture, he starts hugging Vince McMahon, and apparently that sets off Stone Cold, who is just like, why are you hugging my, daddy figure? I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. You're not even anything there. You're going to be the next champion? Yeah, I don't think so. I'm going to go to a different thing, which causes him to go to the Alliance. And I don't know. Would you say that the Alliance angle was better than him pairing up with Vince McMahon?
No.
Well, yeah, that just kind of made the Stone Cold Steve Austin heel angle just go deeper and deeper into the ground. Great. Boy. But we'll probably, end it on there because I know that you said that you're going to try and do a rebooking of the heel Austin turn, if I'm not mistaken.
At some point in the future.
At some point. So definitely check that out. Again, this is actually just going to be a cheap plug for, Agent Cooper on YouTube. Always good stuff. Can't miss out on that. All right, so the next, basically, I guess you could say burial or, shit that should have worked, but didn't. Brock Lesnar's first year when he came back. I mean, what the hell? It started off good, where Brock Lesnar started taking on, the face that runs the place, being John Cena. And just John Cena made him look like, what's that insult from The Longest Yard? Made him look like a baby back bitch, basically. He just